What is the dot over 90 on Omega Speedmaster bezels? Imagine holding a watch that not only tells time but also carries a story from the past. That's what makes vintage Omega Speedmasters so special. One of the most intriguing details on these watches is the dot over 90 or do 90. You might wonder what that means or why it matters. Well, let's explore this tiny but important feature that connects us to the history of space exploration and watchmaking. The dot over 90 refers to a small dot or marker on the tachymeter bezel of certain vintage Omega Speedmaster watches. This dot is positioned directly above the number 90 on the bezel's scale, instead of beside it like on most modern models. The tachymeter bezel is used to measure speed based on how long it takes to travel a certain distance. The placement of this dot is a design detail that was used on some early Speedmasters, especially those from the late 1960s and early 1970s. This detail is not just about looks. It helps collectors identify specific models and production periods. The dot over 90 was part of the original bezel design used on models like the Omega Speedmaster Professional Reference 145.22. Over time, Omega changed the bezel design, so watches with the dot over 90 are considered more authentic to the original Moonwatch style. This makes the dot over 90 a key feature for collectors seeking period-correct pieces. Omega has occasionally brought back this design element in special editions. For example, during anniversary releases celebrating the Moonwatch, Omega has used the dot over 90 bezel to honor the watch's history. When paired with other vintage features like the step dial and applied Omega logo, it creates a look that echoes the original Moonwatch worn during NASA's Apollo missions. From a collector's point of view, the dot over 90 is more than a small detail. It signifies a watch's authenticity and connection to the early days of space exploration. Watches with this feature are highly sought after because they tell a story of precision, craftsmanship, and history. They also show how Omega paid close attention to design details that would stand the test of time. In the world of watches and jewelry, this tiny dot represents a link to the past. It reminds us of the era when watches were not only tools but symbols of human achievement. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting out, spotting the dot over 90 on a Speedmaster can give you a glimpse into the watch's heritage and the legacy of the Moonwatch. It's a small feature that makes a big difference in understanding the history and value of these iconic timepieces.